Hello, today we are going to discuss how to begin representing coins as decimals. So in the Khan Academy video, we've been seeing this, the penny. This is a penny. Hold on, let me get my drawing tool. This is a penny. And in Khan, it is being called 1 cent, right? So we're referring to a penny as being a whole number. Whole number meaning that there's no decimal, right? So we pull out this coin. This is what we refer to as a nickel. Okay, so in Khan, once again, they have been referring to a nickel as being 5 cents. And if you haven't seen this before, oftentimes you'll see this. Sorry, my pen's frozen. That or this being used as the symbol for cents. Okay, next we've got this, which is the dime, and the dime is worth 10 cents, which you can represent it like this if we're calling it a whole number. Okay, whole number, once again, a number that doesn't have a decimal. And this is our quarter. And it's worth 25 cents. Sorry about my handwriting. It's kind of hard to write with the stylus. So what I would like to begin doing is not using these symbols for cents. Even when we represent money using symbols, I would prefer that we begin using the dollar sign. And rather than using whole numbers to represent coins, we're going to begin to represent them as decimals. So here's what we're going to do. Let me get rid of the numbers and symbols I use to represent each one of these. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is we are going to represent money with the dollar being the whole number. So from this point forward, I would like to see this being $1, which means that the penny is no longer 1. We'll have to begin using decimals. Now, we have denominations or amounts of money that's less than $1. Now, if we want to make numbers that are smaller than 1 or between two whole numbers, we begin to use what's called a decimal. Now, our base 10 system tells us that every column stands for a place of 10. So these are our ones. And if we take a dollar bill and we chop it into 100 pieces, we're not going to literally chop it into 100 pieces, but if we wanted change for a dollar bill, we would, hold on, let me get rid of our dollar now. We would in turn get up here too. If we had a dollar bill, drag it out, we would get, go ahead and erase this whole thing. Once again, a dollar bill is equal to 100 pennies, right? So 100 of these, okay? Which means that a penny is worth 1/100th of a dollar. Okay? It is 1/100th of a dollar. And now as a fraction, we would represent it like this. That is 1 over 100, or we also refer to that as 1/100th. But as a decimal, we are going to begin looking at it this way. If this is my decimal point that separates the whole numbers from decimals, the first number over to the right after the decimal point is called the tenths. And that would be represented if the dollar bill had been cut into 10 pieces or distributed in 10 different pieces, which in that case would be a dime. But we're not working with dimes in this one, we're working with pennies. So if this is the hundredths, or sorry, the tenths, this is the tenths, we move over one more and we get hundredths. And this is the word that we're going to use from now on for the digit that is 2 places over from the decimal point. So let's clear all this. And I want to say that 1 penny is now equal to, we read the number first, 1, and then its place, 100th. A penny is worth 1/100th. Okay, and if we want to express this correctly, we would put a dollar sign like that. And this would be read as 1 cent. 1 cent is 1/100th of a dollar. So for every penny, we have another place in the hundredths. Okay, now if we had 5 pennies, which is the value of a nickel, that would be 5 pennies. And so I have 5 in the hundredths place. This is my hundredths place. As money, we would read this as 5 cents. As a decimal, we would say 5/100ths. Now, 10 cents. If I have 2 nickels, that would allow me to make a dime. And a dime is worth 10 pennies. Or we finally move over a place and we know that it takes 10 dimes to make a dollar. So 1 dime is worth 10 cents. Sorry about this dot here. Okay, so a dime is worth 10 cents, or we could also say 10 hundredths, but even more accurately, we would actually just read the number as 1/10. But in money, we don't say that. We say 10 cents. Now, finally, the last coin that we're going to use, we're not going to use the 50-cent piece. It's not a very common coin. The final coin we're going to refer to now is the quarter. Now, we call a quarter because it's 1/4 of a dollar. That's 1/4 of a dollar. Or it would be 25 cents or 25 pennies. Now, we would represent this 25 as a decimal and a 2 and a 5. And a dollar sign would let us know that this is 25 cents. Mathematically, we could refer to it as 25 hundredths, but in money, we refer to it as 25 cents. So from this point on, each one of these coins are going to have a decimal value, not a whole number value. Once again, a penny is 1 cent or 1/100th of a dollar. A nickel is 5 cents or 5/100ths of a dollar. A dime is 10 cents or 1/10th of a dollar. because it's 1 in the tens place, that's 1/10. And finally, the quarter would be 25 cents, or mathematically we refer to it as 25 hundredths. So that's how we go from saying that a quarter is worth 25 cents. But from this point on, let's begin saying that a quarter looks like this: a dollar sign, a decimal point, and 25.